Hey, what's up everybody? It's Awall here with FTW Broadcasting, and this is the very first episode of my Procity series here on the channel. The brand new SimCity, I'm loving it. The servers are actually working somewhat, so I'm able to finally get in here and play longer than an hour, which is really nice. The Procity series will be different than my Troll City series. That is a series I recently introduced where I will be playing with subscribers and friends, and we'll be messing with each other, sending crime and sewerage and pollution and natural disasters at each other for funsies. Link in the video description below to that playlist. This series, the Procity series, is all about guides, legitimate tips, and actually sharing information with each other. Feel free to post in the comments your best practices in SimCity so we can all become better at this game and we can become leaderboard potentials. So, I highly recommend that anyone who's starting playing SimCity, go ahead and go to the Cape Trinity map, which is what this is. I've renamed it FTW Pro Domain, and in this video, I will be showing you how to focus on creating the startup phase for an industrial-oriented city. However, in the Cape Trinity region here, there are archetypal areas that really have a set path that would be most beneficial for you to follow. This one here that I've placed the black lung, which is what is going to be featured in this video today, is more of an industrial area because it is rich in industrial resources. However, Clearwater over here does have water access as well as rail access, and it is oriented around being a shipping and commercial related town. So that's going to be the shipping hub of this island. Yay, Redemptions of the Sims! Achievement right in the middle of my video. Down here, this is going to be more of a tourist area, more of a high-end residential area. It's right along the water, and there will be super high land value over here. In the middle, obviously, a great work site, and then we have the black lung. You have all three major archetypes, as well as the great work site, so you can learn the basics on the Cape Trinity map. This is a private game that I'm using to learn the basics myself, and then to teach them to you. So let's go ahead and head into the black lung, and I will teach you the basics of starting up an industrial city. Okay, first things first, all you get is a highway when you boot things up, and obviously I'm right in the middle here. I'm a suburb-topia at this point, and I have managed to get my population to over 10,000 at this point. Let's go ahead and go to the city hall, and I'll show you. And currently we have, 24,000 residents. We're almost at 30,000, so we are quite far along. I'm almost to level 3 city hall at this point. Building density, okay, we'll learn about that later. So here's what you want to do when you show up into an industrial area. You want to go ahead and scout out the resources there, right, to plan everything. First things first, you always want to check out your wind in your area. Very, very important to check out the wind and what direction it's blowing. In my particular area, it is blowing this direction. Therefore, I want to keep all of my residents downwind rather, so that they, not downwind, upwind, whichever one means that the pollution will not be on your residents. That will completely piss them off. So it's really hard to do in a super industrial town like this, but I'll teach you some tricks on how to keep the pollution off of them as much as possible. So the wind is blowing this way. So I went ahead and established my central industrial area to start out with here, and I've got my oil well here. So all of that pollution will be blowing away from my main residential area, which is here, which was very, very nice, and it has worked out quite nice so far. Obviously, I've broken a few rules here in this area, which I will show you. Okay, so to start with, that's what we did. So we placed industrial here, then we went upwind, and we went ahead and built our commercial and residential zones. Now, it's very important in any industrial city that you have lots of low-income people. Low-income people work the factories. Medium-income people and high-income people don't give a crap about working factories. Keep that in mind. As you're building your industrial city, you will be prompted by the commercial zones quite a bit they're going to ask you for more medium wealth citizens. As you can see right here, they're pissed off that they don't have medium wealth people because they can't build high-end stores. So a lot of these stores that you're going to have built here are like burger joints, sandwich joints, pawn shops, bagels, etc. And you aren't going to get many medium wealth type of commercial zones. So that's why I have one commercial strip up the city here and very little commercial, right? You want to have about 1/3 commercial to 2/3 residential. That's what you want to have here in the beginning phases of your city when you're creating all industrial. So the other part that you want to scout out when you're first getting into your area is where are these damn resources. So let's go ahead and take a look at the resources. There are 3 main resources that you should care about, one of them being coal. Coal makes you tons and tons and tons of money. So there's a high density coal mine right here, and so therefore obviously I placed my coal mine in that area. So I made sure to place that downwind, or rather the wind will carry any nasty fumes or any foolishness away from any residents that I may or may not have in this area. As you can see, I have very little residential touching the coal mine, which is really, really good. Okay, the other resource you want to scout out will be ore. And as you can see, this is right up in the middle of my city. It is unavoidable. Therefore, I have taken some precautions here to help me, because sickness will be in place in this area, as well as unhappiness. I've done a few things to fix that as well. Before I tell you about those quick fixes, let's go ahead and check out oil. And oil, yes, oil, hardcore oil over here in this area, and I'm full up on oil. Okay, so I've placed the 3 types of harvesting resources, right? These are the 3 things that you can harvest early game: oil, ore, as well as coal. So I am getting all of those to the maximum extent with the base level mining facilities. Okay, the other piece of infrastructure that, okay, so let's go piece by piece here. Let's take a look at oil. So oil was the first thing I picked up, and you went ahead and pick up an oil well. So in oil well, what you can do is there's a number of add-ons here that you'll want to add over time, and generally these buildings, if you're new to this game, will prompt you as to what they require to move forward. So the sign is always fun to put on top. It's just a for funsies item. What really matters are the oil delivery truck garage. Now, the oil delivery truck garage will be most useful in delivering oil out of this facility to your trading post, which I will show you here in a moment. One will keep you alive for a decent half hour of gameplay. However, eventually they'll tell you that they're full up on oil, and you will be required to get another delivery truck to take to your trading post. Oil pump jacks, this is where you actually make the money, baby, and I've got this maxed out with 10 right now. You can add on a few here to the main facility. I've added one on here. You can also add here in this area and this area. But most importantly, if you've got split oil areas, which you do here on Cape Trinity, you can build a dirt road for free to this new area, and just via dirt road, you can drop all kinds of additional oil pump jacks, and you can essentially increase your production in a major way. This can be very advantageous to maximize things, not to mention you're gonna have to do this, right? If you want to max out your 10 pump jacks, okay? Let's go ahead and take a look at, so this is okay over here, right? I don't have much residential in this area whatsoever, which is very nice. And it's really just next to my other resources. And I've put some residential here very recently because I've been trying to increase my population to reach the next level. And these residentials may or may not get sick. I'm going to see how they do over time. And I have increased my medical through the roof, which I'm going to show you here soon, because sickness will become an issue, right? With nothing but industrial all up in your area. Let's check out the ore mine. Okay, this ore mine is maxed out currently. There's obviously the sign, and it's the same concept as oil. You've got your delivery truck add-ons, which you'll probably want to pop one of these on in-game time, about a half hour if you're going at llama or cheetah speed before you wanting to pop these in. They will prompt you as to when they're full of ore, and they're pissed off for that reason. You can only do 4 additional ore shafts, but they're very expensive with 16,000 here. You want to go ahead and place these ore shafts in the red area. As you can see, I did not place my ore shafts as effectively as I could have. I should have taken this ore shaft and placed it right here, which I will correct later after I'm done recording this video. It makes very little difference between orange and red. It's about 20%, right? But if this is going to be the industrial area for your region in the long term, these decisions to go into the highest possible density area are very, very critical. Okay. And the last area that I'm going to show you is the coal mine. Coal mine is on the outside of town, and the coal mine is placed far away from most of my residential, which is great. Same concept as the other delivery truck. They've got signs. By the way, I love the coal mine sign. Coal is the meat in the middle of the delicious sandwich on your city. Fantastic. And 4 more coal shafts. Okay, here's the deal, guys. As soon as you start getting a whole lot of industry in your town, you are going to run into power problems. very, very quickly, right? So I highly recommend dropping wind early on and clearing out an entire strip for you to be able to expand on your wind. And it's very easy, same concept. You run a service road all the way down, and these small horizontal turbines for 5,000. Add these on one at a time, and you will be able to scale up into a full, essentially maxed out level 1 industrial town by just using wind. I only use the small turbines in the meantime. The big turbine will be justified later on. Once these small turbines are not doing the job. I'm going to continue to use just this one wind power plant. It's probably going to hold me over for a while. By transitioning from small into big, I will probably stay up and running in terms of power in this town until I reach a population of about 50,000. Okay, that's that. Now in terms of, let's talk about trading posts really quick. Trading posts are essential. I've talked about ore, I've talked about oil, I've talked about coal. However, there's another thing, just straight up freight. Regular industrial areas like I have right here will just have generic freight to send to neighboring cities or to mystery places, right, that you can trade. These regular industrial areas will require trading posts. Your industrial areas will become pissed off if you have not created a trading post. So let's talk about these. I have 2 trading depots already. Looks like I'm actually full of freight, which is a problem, and I'll fix that as soon as I'm done recording this video. So there's a number of important add-ons to make here. You can add on additional freight trucks. Okay, without these add-on trucks, all of the resources from freight, from ore, from coal, and from oil cannot leave your city. So you need to add these on quickly, especially if you're filling up quick and you put a lot of add-ons onto other mining facilities. You need to add these trucks on ASAP. Okay. So if your production is reaching capacity and your storage is reaching capacity at your mining facilities, it's time to add on additional warehouse here at this facility for all 4. I highly recommend, if you're going with a 4-pronged approach of regular freight of all 4 trading resources, do 1 warehouse of each variety. 1 freight, 1 coal, 1 oil, and 1, I believe that's ore. I would recommend doing 1 of each in these areas, and I placed mine right by the highway for easy access for trading to other areas. Now, once I added on more than half of my mining facilities onto the oil well, onto the ore, and onto the coal, I required a second trading depot. So once you've added 2 add-ons here, 2 add-ons here, as well as 4 add-ons here on oil, you will require a second trading post. And what I've decided to do with my second one is the balanced approach once again, where I have all 4 storage facilities in play. So there you go. And actually I need to go ahead and add freight to this one, which is okay. So let's see if I can add on freight right now. My limit has been reached. Okay, that's fine. It's because I think I have a duplicate of one of them. I have 2, ore, trade, crude. Okay, looks like I've reached my limit here. All right. So as you can see, I'm pretty much full up on both of my depots right now. They're barely able to trade at the rates that they want to. And there's sickness going on. So I'll probably have to add an additional trade depot in this area shortly, simply because this town has such a focus. Now let's talk about getting workers into these motherfricking factories. It's easier said than done. You do not want medium population, and you do not want medium wealth population as well as high wealth population. You only want low. So one thing that I did when I started out is I created parks that were medium income parks. That was a mistake. Do not do that. Okay, when you're selecting parks, only select a park appropriate to the income level that you want. $1 signs low, $2 signs medium, $3 signs is formal. I will be using those for my other cities. Keep it basic. Keep it basic. Now, when people are unhappy, you want to go ahead and drop parks. When you have an extremely high industrial and high focus city like this, you want a lot of parks. So I've got a medium park here. I've got a large field here. I've got a water park here. Make sure you always select a park that's good for the kids, so the kids do not get involved in crime. Water parks are focused on serving children. And then you've got the barbecue pavilion, which is good for kids and adults. So notice how most of these people visiting these parks are 148 are kids, right? And you've got 160, 196, and 67 are kids. If you go to the water park, half are kids, okay? So you wanna make sure you're serving your kids so they don't grow up to become criminals and rob the shit out of everything else. Okay, so that's how you keep low income people around, right? Make sure you just don't build things that attract medium and high. That's pretty much the secret. Okay, let's talk about your basic services that you need to provide your folks in your town. Okay, this is very, very important. It's very, very important. Health is your main concern. Health is your main concern in this game. Okay, when you get your first opportunity to upgrade from Town Hall to City Hall, the very first wing that you should add onto this thing is the wing that allows you to get upgraded services and safety, the Department of Safety. It will allow you to get improved fire, health, and police services. Very important, especially for the health. It can become very handy for fire as well. If your industrial fires start getting out of control, you can quickly scale up to a large fire department if need be. In my case, sickness was an issue. I also had a zombie attack, in which sickness became an issue as well. And so therefore I needed to scale up my health. So what I did with my clinic is I went ahead and upgraded to full ambulances and full patient waiting room. That was not enough. Why? Because there is ground pollution as well as air pollution going on in residential areas because this is industrial. It's just part of the game when you're making an industrial area. Let me show you the, if I can find it, I will show you the ground pollution map. Here it is. Look at this. High pollution here, and it's next to residential areas. High pollution here. It's next to some residential areas, right? This is important it's very important that you manage this. And also, let's take a look at air pollution. Air pollution in the area as well. Even though the wind's blowing that way, you still get some air pollution on residential areas and also areas where people are working, okay? So it's very important to have extra health facilities to deal with this. I think I've made that pretty abundantly clear. So I maxed out my clinic, and once I got my Department of Safety, I immediately dropped a hospital. I didn't bulldoze my clinic, I dropped an extra health facility immediately, grabbed up a hospital. Hospitals are $85,000 or simoleons, and I put it right here, which is gonna be the essentially second heart of my industrial district in my town. And I put this here because I've got industrial very close to residential. Notice the placement of my other clinic right over here in between these residents and this industrial. Very, very critical that you do this. The next piece of safety equipment that I would be buying will be a large firehouse, which I'll probably put right here, right in the middle of my secondary industrial area, okay? So that's pretty much that. Okay, water does become an issue later on. It becomes a big issue later on, and a very important thing to do, the second add-on that I highly recommend doing, once you reach the 20,000 threshold, water becomes a problem. So what you want to do is get your Department of Utilities. Department of Utilities, the most important part of that, sewerage becomes a major problem. I apologize. Sewerage and water becomes a major problem. So the sewerage issue, your doo-doo starts backing up. I had one sewerage outlet here, I had one sewerage outlet here, and I had one sewerage outlet over here, not over here, but over here. That was not enough once my population reached 20,000. However, once you get the upgrade at your city hall, you can get a treatment plant which takes care of everything instantly like that. Water also becomes a problem. Right now I'm sort of in a stupid situation where I have 3 water towers over here, as well as 3 water towers over here. That is too many water towers. I will be dropping new water infrastructure soon. Power was not an issue. I did not need the Department of Utilities to deal with power once I reached the 20,000 resident threshold. I was just able to upgrade my low-level power facility and just get these additional windmills. They're not called windmills. They're called turbines, small horizontal turbines that took care of my power needs up until this point. So this, my friends, is how you do it in the beginning stages of building an industrial city. This is how you do it. One last piece of advice. In this area, If you are creating your main thoroughfares, it's very important for shipping and freight purposes that you create on all of your main bridges and your main veins in your city. Go ahead, even if you have low density or even dirt roads in your city, go ahead and just straight up upgrade to medium density roads in your bridges and in the main veins of your city. This is very important for your trucking and your shipping, as well as your fire trucks. I noticed when there were huge traffic jams, like here and here, for instance, fire trucks were unable to get to problems quickly. In fact, right now I'm having fire issues. Service is too slow. That was an issue for me earlier, so be sure to monitor that. Do not forget your roads. That is the veins that run your city. So this is a very basic tutorial on how to create an industrial-oriented city up into the 20,000 population mark. It's time for me to get to work here and move this up to about the 50 to 75,000 population mark, and we'll check back in, and I will give you guys some more advice on how to make a low-income industrial city. Link in the video description below to the playlist, and don't forget to subscribe to FTW Broadcasting for more fun guides. If you have advice and stuff that I may have forgotten in this video and cool advice you want to give everyone else, post it in the comments and I'd be happy to share that in the next episode. Thanks for watching.